Hello, everybody. Welcome back for a brand new Penthouse session. And today's guests are one of punk rock's most exciting new bands. They're from Oslo, Norway, and they're called Hammok. Guys, welcome in Hest op den Berg, of all places. I looked it up. It's a 16 and a half hour drive back to Oslo. I gotta know, how's life in Oslo for a young band?
I mean, Oslo it's pretty normal for a Norwegian town. It's our biggest town in Norway, but yeah, we do like there are bands there that we know and play with. But compared to here, it's like it's a tiny bit boring actually. It's way more exciting coming here and meeting people that really care about our music and play shows over here. It's been like way more exciting, I feel. So I mean, Oslo, it's not horrible in Oslo, but I think we really like coming over here and playing to people.
You guys started a band during a pandemic. I think we all know what happened, but I do wonder, do you feel like, let's say the pandemic did not happen, you guys think you would have been a different band?
I mean, yeah, we didn't play any shows for like the first year. We only like practiced and wrote songs, and that was really how the band started. So pretty much like now we're known for being a live band, but we couldn't play live for over a year. So we just wrote a lot of music and learned how to be a band through writing music together, recording music together, and just practicing nonstop and just making sure that when we eventually get the opportunity to play a show, that we can really like on an hour we can just we're gonna take the show and we can show up and play and really be good and prepared.
Was it weird? Because I can imagine the first time you were on stage, because you was it a surprise? Because that's the first time you actually see how other people react.
I remember the first show, there weren't that many people there, but I remember like feeling really like ready. I usually get nervous before shows, but I remember not being really nervous before that show because we were so confident. We've been practicing so much, and we had like written like our first 5 songs and almost finished the first EP by the time we played our first show. So we like opened with like, the first song on our first EP, and we like had this like crazy confidence. We're still like confident today, but I just remember like it felt really special. Like, we get to show people now what we can do, and like we're really like proud, I think, and strangely not very nervous for our first show.
usually starts local, but then there was the first show you did abroad was in the Netherlands, if I'm correct, was on the Eurosonic Festival. For people who don't know it, it's a showcase festival, which basically means it's full of industry people, bookers, and people who organize shows. Usually, if they ask you to play there, the Cinderella story is you get discovered, and then the whole world or your whole world changes. I think it's safe to say it was a little bit like that with you guys, right?
Eurosonic just like opened a million doors for us. We're like really, really grateful to a radio station in Norway that sent us and really believed that we could take that opportunity. And we were like really, really nervous going to that show. We knew what the whole thing meant and what could come of it. So, but yeah, I'm really like proud that we succeeded in that and played a good show and people really responded. And that just like gave us so many opportunities, and we met so many good people that we still work with. Basically, our like entire team now is like created because of that one show. So that show like really just made it possible for us to be here today. And like so yeah, like really going into that show and feeling like we took that opportunity and we really succeeded, I think.
A thing that a lot of younger bands have, opposed to older bands, is the DIY mentality. I mean, the DIY mentality has always been there, especially in more underground scenes. But younger bands, you guys are always, or at least that's how I feel it, better at doing everything yourself, producing everything, recording everything. Can you explain how it is in a band like Hammok? Because from the outside, it feels like you hardly need any help releasing music.
In some sense, that is like feels very true, and sometimes I have to remind myself that you're not an island. You're not just like separated from everything. So we do have really good partners helping us out with booking shows and a label releasing our music and making sure that that's really done, and a guy who mixed the record and mastered the record. But apart from that, we really like take a lot of pride in doing most of the other stuff ourselves, whether that is like hours upon hours recording a drum part or producing a song. It just like it's a lot of pride when you do release the record. I know that I, as a producer, I've been like, I know everything that's going on, and there's no surprises, and everything is really intentional, and I made sure that every detail is the way that I wanted to, and that feels really, really good when you release it. And then it's not really important if people actually care about it, because I know the product is exactly as how I intended it to be, really.
Another thing, I read something about if I'm correct, the Oya Rock Festival.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know the festival that well, but if you look it up, I think whoever's listening from what country is watching this video, it's basically the biggest festival in the country. Yeah. In Belgium, it would have been the Werchter Festival, which is not far away from here, by the way. You guys are still a very extreme band. How is it possible a band like you guys it started like 4 years ago, and you're already playing with Queens of the Stone Age?
That's just like such a huge opportunity. I mean, every Norwegian artist really like understands how big that festival is, and that's usually where you end your festival cycle as well for the year. And just like if you're gonna like invest in one show, that's the one you invest in. And for them to really give us that opportunity on such a big, like as you say, like mainstream stage next to one of the biggest rock bands in the world, like I think Tom York is going to be on the same stage as me on the same day, and that's like disgusting. That's like, why am I? It feels really like, it feels crazy, but I think we're looking forward to as same as like Eurosonic, getting a huge opportunity and working to really succeed in that and really take advantage of like the moment that is and yeah, go big or go home, really.